If you're tuned in to season 2 of The White Lotus, you might be crushing on Adam DiMarco, one of the new cast members this season who plays Albie, a sensitive Stanford graduate who's on vacation with his wealthy Hollywood exec father and old school grandfather. Everyone watching can agree that Albie is a sweet and handsome young man, and surprisingly, his character is not much different from what Adam is like in real life, including sweet and maybe even a little bit shy. Despite DiMarco being a fresh face to most viewers, this Canadian actor has been working on screen in film and TV for over a decade, with The White Lotus being his biggest project by far. Considering Adam DiMarco is still on his rise to fame, there is probably a lot you didn't know about the 32-year-old actor. But not to worry, because we'll get into everything from his early years in the spotlight to how he landed his role in the hit show, and much more here for you on Famous Life. Adam DiMarco was born April 14, 1990 in Oakville, Ontario, Canada, where he also grew up and where his family still lives. The identity of the actor's parents is unknown at the moment, but he does have a brother, Michael, and a sister named Tasha. It's clear that playing Albie on The White Lotus is Adam's biggest role to date, but he's been acting for a long time, having starred in Netflix's The Order and the Disney Channel movie Radio Rebel alongside Debbie Ryan, to name a few. These days, Adam lives in Vancouver, British Columbia, so on the other side of Canada than where he was born and raised, with Oakville being close to Toronto. When asked in an interview, Adam claims the TV series that made him want to be an actor himself was J.J. Abrams' Lost. He explained, "I went to university for a year studying life sciences and I was just deeply unhappy. That show was kind of my escape. Then I started thinking about the film industry, and being a writer or actor seemed like a fun job. I'd say that show inspired me, and Matthew Fox, who was leading it, I was like, oh, he's such a good actor." While despite being a bit of a late bloomer to the acting game, it's clear DiMarco still plays a very convincing recent graduate in Albie. Adam ended up attending Vancouver Film School and studying acting for a year and a half, a decision which also helped him tackle his shyness. While the actor still has his shy side, he claims that before film school it was debilitating. He added about this, "I think I needed the acting class setting to bring me out of that shell, and at first I was put on academic probation because my teachers were like, you have to do more than you're doing. You have to commit or be more vulnerable." After that wake-up call, it pushed me to go for it more, and I really enjoyed it. Then one of my teachers recommended me to their agent, and I started auditioning right away, which was pretty lucky. While Adam didn't get started in acting until he was a bit older, his first performance on stage came back in elementary school in a play called The Trial of Alice in Wonderland, and he had nightmares about forgetting his line. His first onstage part after acting training was a scene study from The Graduate during film school, where Adam played Dustin Hoffman's character in the scene where his love interest finds out he slept with her mother, Mrs. Robinson. Adam recalled this moment. "There was a moment where I took a sip of water and I started choking because it went down the wrong pipe. Everyone thought that it was a character choice, but it wasn't. I was just trying not to cough, and it was making me cough even more. But everyone loved it and afterwards came up to me like, that was so cool, great choice." That was very memorable because it taught me that mistakes can be gold. After Adam nabbed an agent, he started landing small roles in TV and movies. According to his IMDb page, it was 2011 when he started out, first in some short films and then a small role in a movie titled Do Something With Your Life. In 2012, Adam scored a role which you might remember him in when he starred alongside Debbie Ryan in the Disney Channel made-for-TV movie Radio Rebel as Gavin. Between 2012 and 2013, Adam also has credits in a handful of TV movies, while he also appeared in 2 episodes of R.L. Stine's The Haunting Hour series. He further snagged his first recurring TV role as Kirby in Arctic Air, and the same year he appeared in an episode of the hit show Supernatural. In the years that followed, Adam had no shortage of work, even if they were small roles in projects. From 2014 to 2015, he appeared in plenty of TV movies as well as TV series, including the Disney movie titled Zapped and the movie My Life as a Dead Girl, and shows such as The Returned and Cedar Cove. Other credits on Adam's IMDb include TV movies such as Mommy's Secret in 2016 and Secret Millionaire a couple of years later in 2018. While they were only small parts and he only appeared in 1 episode each, in 2019 Adam was in 2 larger scale productions, the first of which was the Charmed TV show, and the second was when he appeared in Netflix's Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. While these were going on, Adam had also began starring on the series The Magicians from 2016 to 2020, where he played Elliot Todd, a show which was about a group of students being recruited to a secret academy and discovering the magic they read about as kids turned out to be very real and dangerous. In 2019, Adam scored another major role playing Randall in the Netflix series The Order, for which he starred in 20 episodes up until it wrapped in 2020. In this show, a college student pledges to a secret order while out to avenge his mother's death, landing in a war between werewolves and practitioners of dark magic. Considering these significant gigs, Adam is certainly no stranger to the spotlight. However, his current role in The White Lotus is his biggest break thus far, and something the actor doesn't take for granted, having worked in the industry for over 10 years. In a recent interview, Adam revealed about working on The White Lotus. "These were the best scripts I've ever read. It's probably the most talented cast I've ever worked with. The location is beautiful. We were staying in 5-star hotels. It's HBO, which is a company that has always been a bucket list dream to work with. It's going to be hard to beat. It's all downhill from here." It could be his Canadian background or his natural disposition, but it seems that Adam has remained quite humble despite being one of this season's obvious breakout stars. Much like his character on The White Lotus, Albie, Adam has a certain shyness to him, and he was nervous to star on the show at times, which is fair, considering The White Lotus was all anyone could talk about when the first season aired last year. In The White Lotus Season 2, Adam's character Albie is a 20-something Stanford graduate who joins his father, Dominic, Michael Imperioli, and grandfather, Bert, F. Murray Abraham, on a Sicilian vacation to explore their heritage. It's a DeGrasso boys trip due to the fact that Albie's mom and sister have dropped out after Dominic is caught cheating yet again. This fact adds a tension between the 3 generations of men, something that is inevitable for White Lotus. Adam said about his role, "I got the material and immediately connected to Albie. There were a lot of similarities between us, and obviously the show's effing amazing. It's very rare that you get a chance to do a second season of something that's already been established, and established is great. The biggest no-brainer of my life." In terms of how Adam scored his gig on this uber popular series, he said that it was over Zoom for the most part. Living in Vancouver at the time, he was at home in Oakville, Ontario, visiting his family when he got a call back on Zoom after sending in a home audition tape. Adam went on about the experience. "I did the Zoom call with Mike White and then others with the producers and casting people. We read the scenes, I made some awkward jokes, I mentioned I was half Italian, and that was it. Luckily, it was pretty straightforward and painless." Even Adam agreed himself that there are plenty of similarities between him and Albie. He touched upon the fact that on the surface level they're both half Italian with weirdly similar names, as well as that Albie is described as a sweet and nice boy, whereas Adam is Canadian, and Canadians no doubt have a rep for being nice. On a deeper level, the actor explained, "I think we both live extremely in our heads at times and can overthink things to the point of debilitation at times. Albie has this obsession of not being like his father, but the more you obsess over something, the more likely you are to self-fulfill that prophecy, or to manifest that in even an unconscious way." Adam sees his role in The White Lotus as a major opportunity and the gig that's taught him the most about himself thus far. The cast was in Sicily filming for 4 months, which is also the longest he'd been away from home. He also grew a lot in his field due to the fact that he worked alongside some other amazing actors, including Michael Imperioli, F. Murray Abraham, Haley Lou Richardson, and more. While it intimidated DiMarco at the start to join the cast, his on-screen family made him feel more welcome, and those nerves were soon non-existent. Adam noted about working with his on-screen dad and grandpa, "It felt really natural. I felt at ease with them immediately. There were no table reads or anything, but us 3 would just read through all 7 episodes at least once a week and just kind of hear it out loud, and then we'd shoot the shit." While it's unknown what's next for Adam, he said in the past that he hopes to do a little bit of everything in his acting career. He mentioned his dream roles would include a comedy like The Office, playing a superhero, and even starring in a Broadway play. It's clear that The White Lotus brought Adam DiMarco more of the spotlight than any of his past roles, and a fan base that's ramping up, curious about this charming Canadian actor. Despite working in Hollywood for a handful of years, it seems like this is only the start for him, and I'm sure we'll be seeing a lot more of Adam in projects to come. Thanks for watching this video. Don't forget to subscribe to Famous Life and leave a comment for who you'd like us to feature next.